Hello, it's me, Physic. Welcome back to Physic Talks. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed today's video, please do leave it a like and subscribe if you want to help support me, my channel. If you want to support me even further, you can donate to my PayPal or Patreon. Links are in the description to that. So, Trisha Paytas, dissociative identity disorder. Let's get some things right off the bat right quick. So, she doesn't have dissociative identity disorder. She never has done. The simple matter of it is that at the age that she is, there is no chance in the world that someone with multiple personalities wouldn't have been to a doctor years ago to get it diagnosed. She claims she has dissociative identity disorder because she looked it up on WebMD. Now, whether she is actually confused about this or not, I don't know. A lot of people have been saying that she's just joking, that this is just her trolling. I don't think that's true. I don't think she's stupid enough to do that because, you know, that wouldn't get you anywhere. All that would get is hate from absolutely everyone. And the video wasn't intentionally funny, and the response videos are kind of serious as well. Like, there's no jokey factor to this. The only way she'd be trolling is if she hadn't got a clue how to make anything funny. So I don't in any way think she was trolling by doing this, because as she said in the video, why would I do that? Why would I corrupt my image in such a massive way? What I do think, though, is that she loves attention. What I do think is that she loves to appear that she's a damaged person. That's not an uncommon thing. A lot of people want to feel like they're damaged or broken or something. I don't know. It really depends on the person as to why someone would want to be like that. A lot of people on YouTube claim they have various mental health conditions when they very clearly don't, like Anision saying he has BPD and stuff. It's like, well, what are you talking about? Stop just making stuff up for the sake of your audience. It's completely out of control. But with Trisha, it's like, I'm sorry, but you upload almost twice a day. There is no way that in these many, many years of uploading daily that your huge audience wouldn't have clocked on to the fact that you have multiple personalities, and you who loves drama and loves talking about every subject under the sun related to yourself, you just forgot to mention that you have a multiple personality disorder. I understand that that's not what it's called anymore. The categorization's changed and it's now called dissociative identity disorder. I think that's because it's not strictly a personality disorder. So, we can have a little look at her video where she reveals that she has alters, which is so baffling, so stupid and moronic and insane. How can you... And this is another thing. She's also not nearly smart enough to trick people into thinking that she actually has this. Either she is intentionally tricking people, which is much more likely, or she actually feels like she has different personalities, because she said she always sort of blends into different crowds. Newsflash, everyone does that. Everyone under the sun does that. Me, I'm created of technically many different personalities. I have a lot of different, I have a lot of the humor that my friends have. I have a lot of the taste in music that my parents have, and a lot of the same interests. You get influence from left, right, and center that changes you as a person. So there, you start So with that, you start adapting your personality and it starts changing. I think you're just feeling stuff, you know feelings, emotions. When someday you'll feel angry and stressed, another day you'll feel happy and calm. That's not different personalities. If you didn't realize, that's just your brain processing like it usually does. So let's take a look at this completely insane video. Another thing I'd like to say is, don't give hate to her. That's ridiculous. Why would anyone hate on her for this? Because she's been getting bombarded with hate. And I don't just mean her like ratio, because that is abysmal. I've never seen anyone get like 6% likes. It's just crazy. Obviously I have, but she doesn't deserve hate for this. She's just a confused person. Either she is so confused that she doesn't know what's wrong with her, and she actually has looked it up and thought, hold on, that kind of describes me. But there's the problem, buddy. I have really bad hypochondria. It's not as bad as it used to be, but I would, I'd have a certain symptom, I'd look it up, and just because, this brain tumor's come with this one symptom that I have, oh, I must have it then. That is the problem with hypochondria and diagnosing yourself online. Fair enough having the information online, but obviously don't use it to diagnose yourself. That's not why it's there. You have to go to a doctor. And there's no, sorry, you're not going to have gone through your life with multiple personalities and not seen a doctor about it. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I've looked stuff up online and I've ended up in hospital before because I've thought I've had something so much worse than what I actually have. It's ridiculous and quite embarrassing. So anyway, don't hate on her for this. Either she is just confused and she actually thinks there's something wrong with her, or because I genuinely think she might have some mental health problems. She's clearly got issues with self-esteem. She's clearly got some issues, but maybe she's just trying to sort of work out what's wrong with her and has wrongly diagnosed herself. So don't hate on her. Or alternatively, of course, she's just faking it to make her look like a more interesting person. And I know that's the more likely option. But again, you don't really need to hate on her for this. I don't think she's trying to offend anyone. She just doesn't realise that she's majorly trivialising a very serious mental health problem, and that is upsetting, and that does annoy me. So if she is tricking people, that's not cool on any level, because people do suffer with this, and I imagine it's incredibly unpleasant. So
humans are bad to the bone.
Well, I think that they're good sometimes, and you should give them the benefit of the doubt. Now, where was I?
That's my little disclaimer. Now, let's have a look at one of the videos and see how completely ridiculous it is. Let's do it.
I feel like once you know, it's probably not that big of a surprise to others, and that is a Meet My Alters video. If you guys don't know what an alter is people that have multiple personalities, dissociative identity disorder, which I've actually talked about quite frequently. I feel like this is another video that's going to come up and people are like, oh, Trisha jumping on another bandwagon, Trisha trying to do this.
So, a pretty big sign that she doesn't really know what she's talking about. She constantly mispronounces it as dissociative. It's not dissociative, it's dissociative. Like dissociative drugs, like ketamine.
In actuality, I've talked about it plenty of times. I dated a girl who also had DID, and we talked about it a lot there. She has alters, multiple personalities.
But even just saying this, it's ridiculous to have a chat with someone else with this actual problem as if you've got it as well, because that's just silly. You record a large amount of your life, like every one of your videos. Not a single person has ever seen your alters in any of your videos, which wouldn't make sense to the problem that you have. As well as that, she clearly tried tricking us again in the following video, which says, caught my personality change on camera, and it's so dumb. It's just her dropping her drink as she's standing up. She just drops it. I don't think that's what happens. I don't think when you switch personalities, I don't think you just drop whatever you're holding and suddenly you're completely different. And then she's like, I'm hungry. It's like, what does this show us? Is this really your limited understanding of having different personalities? She talks as if you can also just like switch between them at will, and sometimes they die and come back, and it's like, I don't think you have a clue what you're talking about, or at least a very limited understanding from Wikipedia.
Do you have a disorder? Are you diagnosed with something? Are you bipolar? Are you schizo? And I'm like, honestly, I've never been diagnosed with anything. The closest thing that I have self-diagnosed myself, I guess, is multiple personality disorder.
You can't just do that though, because why would you diagnose yourself as that? If you really thought you had multiple personalities, you would be talking about it almost constantly on your channel, obviously. Yet you've waited this long to suddenly mention it, and it's pretty clear you haven't thought any of this through, which is why it's backfired and you've actually got so much hate from doing this. Like, I can understand why some people are upset, but like sending her death threats and things, it's like, calm down, guys. This is YouTube. Everyone's just an idiot. Let's get real.
Or dissociative identity disorder, or both, because there's some differences, there's some similarities, and some people just think they're like all same or all completely different.
That's another thing. It's like, you clearly don't really know what you're saying, because you're just saying different opinions. You're contradicting yourself in one sentence. Multiple personality disorder was what it was called, but then it was recategorized as dissociative identity disorder. That's what I understand about it anyway, because it wasn't any longer seen as a personality disorder. So I don't think they're different things in any way. There might be some different changes as it got recategorized, but about it.
For me, I consider them quite similar, but I think my disassociating comes differently than in the form of my alters. So I feel like the alters are my multiple personality, and I feel my disassociativeness is in a different realm, but it usually only takes place.
Sorry, what did any of that mean? Like, what? What are you talking about?
I guess under Trixie, which I do...
This is why you get diagnosed. Go to a doctor. Don't suddenly decide to speak out about this massive issue that people will clearly have an issue with when you don't know what you're talking about. You're just sort of rambling.
My own shell, Trish. Unfortunately for me, Trish, I never really formed my own personality. I always thought I kind of was like taking other people's personalities or borrowing or becoming like my friends or becoming like my boyfriends or becoming around the person I'm around, which I still do to a certain degree. And I feel like Trish, if anything...
Again, everyone does that. You're not unique in any way because of this. A lot of people consider themselves to not have a personality, but of course you have a personality. You've got a very blatant, clear personality that everyone recognizes. Whenever anyone thinks of Trisha Paytas, we don't just see your face, we see the whole works, everything, sitting on your kitchen floor, doing mukbang videos, talking about makeup. You have a very, very specific personality, so don't worry about that. Is that what you're worried about? Have you got some sort of issue where you feel that you're so lacking in personalities that you're making up your own ones to sort of cover for it? Is that what this is? And again, everyone takes from their friends' personalities. Some people do it more than others. I've heard that people with autism sometimes mirror different personalities a lot more than others. But me personally, I've been through it all, especially when I was back at school. I used to get bullied, so I'd try and blend in with certain crowds, and then lo and behold, I started getting interested in things in those crowds. That's why I have such a wide interest in music, from psytrance, drum and bass, techno, progressive rock, classical music, jazz, hip-hop, breakbeat, anything. This is all because of the different friends that I've hung out with. I'm interested in all kinds of different media from all other people. I'm basically made up of media. That's my personality.
In actuality, I disassociate in general by becoming who I'm around. And I feel like that's very noticeable. When I was in England, I started having like an English accent. And I don't think everyone with the ID has this. I don't think everyone with multiple personality disorder has this. I don't think they just become someone else.
Okay, well, this highlights, one, your lacking of understanding of dissociative identity disorder, as well as highlighting the fact that you're not changing personalities here. You're just, when you're with different friends, you act slightly differently. Everyone does that. That's not you changing to an alternate personality. That's just a very natural thing that everyone goes through. I
never was able to develop my personality. That's fine because I have others.
No, but you have developed your own personality. These others, these alters, are just different parts of your personality. There's probably some sort of mental health thing. If you're being serious and you're not just blatantly lying about this, then it's possible that you do have some sort of mental health issues where you feel lacking in a personality, so you feel you need to separate your personalities. I know dissociative identity disorder can stem from trauma, so you like to, segregate your trauma into different pockets to make it a bit easier to digest. It seems like you're doing something to that extent without the sort of trauma part. But again, it's just a normal thing. Why you feel you need to separate your personalities at times, I don't know. But that is you. That's not different personalities, different people. That's just you.
But if they just don't come to the forefront. I've watched a lot of videos of this recently. Most recently, obviously, Anthony Padilla did this, and I was like, oh shit, I really wish I knew when they were coming to light. I know, and sometimes it's minutes, sometimes it's like a minute and then it's gone, or sometimes it's like a full day and I'm in that. But T is definitely the protector, is definitely non-human, is definitely not of this world, and
don't get me wrong, again, don't know much about dissociative identity disorder, but are your alters not human? Is that ever a thing? I guess maybe that could make sense. I guess you could have alters where you're a younger aged, different gender, but I haven't heard of different species, but I don't know. I'm just riffing here.
I was just talking to another one of the voices.
Is it Tatiana?
Who now?
The mischievous 7-year-old British girl you told me about on the phone. May I speak with her?
Yes? Hello, Doctor. I'm from Wessex.
Is that an actual place in England?
How should I know? I'm just a little girl, I am.
But I have heard that, you know, with dissociation, you get sort of, you know, amnesia, memory loss, so it's hard to remember certain alters where you've been from, where you've dissociated from. So, again, I don't know much about it. I've suffered with identity issues for a really long time. That's all you need to say on this. That's it. Okay? That is all you needed to have said. You don't need to claim that you have a very rare and serious mental health problem. All you need to say is that I've struggled with having my own identity. I've struggled with my personality. I have a lack of confidence. I have issues blending in with certain crowds. That is all you needed to say, because I think that's all the problem is. You didn't need to come up with some ridiculous concept where you actually have multiple personalities in your mind, because there's no evidence of that. Why would you have it? There's no evidence of it. You haven't had it diagnosed. You have to understand why people are upset. Either tell people you have a problem with your identity and you struggle with your own personality and you struggle with mental health problems, you're depressed, you're anxious. That's fine. And then go and get a diagnosis and then come back and then tell everyone what your diagnosis says. I'm also surprised that you haven't done that. If you thought you had dissociative identity disorder and got a massive backlash of people saying, no you don't, wouldn't the first thing you do go and get it diagnosed? But you still haven't done that, so it's pretty clear that you're lying about this. Anyway, I could talk about this all day. In fact, she's made several other videos, so if you guys want to see me looking at her response videos where she gets really upset with everyone, then I'll happily check that out. So thank you very much, guys. I know it's been a while since my last video. This lockdown and everything involved with it has just got me horribly depressed. It's been sucky. If you'd like to help out the channel, you can donate to PayPal or Patreon. Anyone that donates to PayPal, I will read out your message and give you a shout out in the following video. So thank you so much, guys. Really do appreciate the support. Sorry to have to plug these things, but you know, it's a real nightmare making money on YouTube, as you probably already know. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care now. Bye bye.